Hello, friends. We are alive again after the hibernation that was the winter holiday. I am ready to get back to streaming, I think. Probably. Let's go with that. Today, we have Warhammer 40k Custodian Guard. Big banana boys. Big old golden bananas. These guys are going to make up one half of my custodian boarding party whenever that game mode finally releases. That should be fun. I've already got a set of custodian wardens, which are the elite version of these guys, assembled, primed, and dry brushed. But I figured it'd probably be better to do all of these assemble all of these first, so that, well, my brain isn't working. What was I saying? Right, assemble all of these first so that we can paint them all together. That way they're consistent. So since I already have a shield captain from the Wardens who's holding a sword, I'm instead going to be doing a shield captain, the guards, using their spear. That way I have more flexible options, because the shield captain will be the headquarters of the army. So let's get to it. We've got our sprues on our runners. We've got my little snippy snips. So you have to start finding bits and cutting them out. So need 1A, 8, and 9. Personally, really dislike Games Workshop's runners. So the individual piece is the sprue, but the entire sheet of plastic is the runner. And if you look at, I don't have a good example readily available, but say a Gundam runner, they have all of their pieces along the rows 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Here you have to look around and try and find where in the hell 1 is. And thankfully, while I vamped, I found 1. But it's just so frustrating trying to find piece number 1 and piece number 2 on a Games Workshop frame. But honestly, that is a minor complaint when it comes to Games Workshop. They don't have the best business practices, in my opinion. They make a great game, but ooh, do I hate dealing with. So snipped that out. How's everybody out there doing tonight? Hope you all had a good holiday season. Wait a minute. This was 1, but we were looking for 1A. I completely cut out the wrong thing. Woo! We're just gonna put that over to the side. Why would they do this to me? Why would they make a 1A and a 1? What monsters? Hmm. Well, we are looking for a torso, so that should narrow the search down a bit, I would think. Oh, okay, I see what they're doing to me. 1A is the instruction set for creating torsos out of separate pieces. That's the other issue with GW sets, is that they don't always have consistent instructions. Some of these runners don't even have numbers on them, which makes them eternally frustrating to deal with. Because you just have to go by, what does the thing look like? So we're cutting out piece 58, which is the back end, and they're all the same. And we're looking for one of 53 through 57. Looks like they're all slightly different, but it really shouldn't matter for the purposes of doing this captain. Yeah. So now that we've got those two bits cut out, step 2. Step 1 is find bits and cut them out. Step 2 is trim the heck out of the nubbings that are left. Like to use files. Personally, I've found that I really enjoy using X-Acto knife. Gives just a little bit more control. Goes a lot faster. Would you rather I put on depressing music, Merlin? Sure, I've got a sad playlist somewhere. We could dig into the My Chemical Romance archives. My Chemical Romance archives? Oh, you're still coughing up a lung? Have you been drinking your tea? You better be under a blanket and cuddling with Theo today. Now what I'm doing here is scraping off mold lines because of the way that the runner is filled with plastic and pressed together with two sides of a mold. You get little lines where the plastic leaks out a little. So if you just run the blade's edge, excuse me, across the mold line, it gently scrapes it off. And now that we've got these pieces all cleaned up, we can dry fit them together, see how they do. See if there's any gaps we need to trim up or fill. These look pretty good, so what we're gonna then do, pull out this, which is my little bottle of plastic cement. It's basically a very strong solvent that melts the plastic down temporarily. You stick two bits of plastic that have been melted together with it, and then once it dries, they are fused together. And I'm looking for a little bit of pipe cleaner I used to clear this spout. I'm not finding it right now. Let's see if this brush will do it for me. Little bits of gunk get stuck in here sometimes. Okay. Maybe? Come on. There we go. Alright. So we got the cement flowing. Just going to use this applicator tip. Gently rub the contact points with cement so we can melt them down. Hi, G-God Paste. Today we are putting together some Adeptus Custodes Custodian Guard. Just got started, in fact. Right now we are putting together the Shield Captain with Castellan Spear. Alright, now that that's setting, go back to this page and look for what else we need to nip out. It's like 9 and number 8. I prefer my golden banana boys, but yeah, space janitors works too. Cleaning up the mess of their brothers. Although, I guess if you really trace the lineage properly, the Space Marines would be like the nephews of the Custodians. Oh yeah, they're, if you look here, their helmets are very conical. And they're traditionally painted all gold, so they've gotten the nickname Banana Boys. As you do. I'm currently waiting on some parts for my resin printer to get here so that I can repair it, because some of the parts came defective, seemingly. But once I do, I want to make up some various custom proxies, one of which is so there was an old animated series parody fan work of Warhammer 40k called "If the Emperor Had a Text-to-Speech Device," and it's basically, you know, the Emperor getting caught up on what's going on in the Imperium ever since, you know, he got sat on the Golden Throne and had his mind fractured. And in this series, the Custodes have degenerated to a point where they are abbed, oiled muscle men, and they are depicted as being the Pillarmen from JoJo's Bizarre Adventure, the shirtless dudes that are doing the wacky poses. So somebody, of course, because this was a very popular show, went ahead and made 3D models of these JoJo posing boys with the banana heads. And now I really want them. But yeah, definitely, you know, maybe print out some mops. So many fun things you can do with kit bashing. Alright. Ironically, so custodies are often talked about as being an extremely easy army to build, just because of how few units they have. The same point value in Cadian infantry that is 48 infantry models is like 8 custodians. And they're mostly gold, so it's, really easy to paint them up. You just rattle can them gold and then work on the details. But because I want these guys to look really good, I've actually been avoiding painting them. So hopefully that'll be our next stream, actually, is me getting started doing up the paint job on these guys. Thinking I'm gonna take an alternate approach with them. Still gonna do gold, but I want to do either like the Aquilin Host purple or maybe like a deep royal blue instead. Right, so let's let that sit there for a second. I need to change something on my desktop. It's messing with me right now. There we go. Alright, now we need Russian blue. I don't have any cesium poisoning. Alright, so it looks like 1D is 42 through 46, 2 of each of them. Ah, interesting. So they've got 42 through 46 on one side and on the other side, instead of just putting them next to each other. GW, why are you like this? But yeah, all sorts of little details on these guys that, let's see if we can get the camera to autofocus on this properly. Probably not. Camera, want to work with me here? Anyways, just whole lots of little details on them that make them really cool. Many fun parts of putting these models together is also trying to decipher what exactly Games Workshop is trying to tell you to do with the model pieces. It's often the 2D representations are not that good. So sometimes you just gotta go for good enough. Alright, so then next we're going to be doing up his Misericordia, his head, and his spear. So looking for 10, 12, 64, 65, 11, and 15. Impressive, they actually put 11 and 15 next to each other. Definitely some sprues are a lot better than others when it comes to this. Okay, so now 10 and 12. Seems like there are multiple 10s. Here's 12. So now the question is, do we want Grizzly Mohawk Man, Grizzly Bald Man? Ooh, Bald Boy's shouting. I think we'll just leave him Mohawk then. Don't really want a shouty captain. Some bits are a lot harder to clear the mold lines off of. Having to scrape between bits on his head and his mohawk. Don't pull these off, you'll get weird little, well, lines on your painting. This never looks good. A lot of painters will tell you the best idea is to leave the head off until you're done painting it. I'm lazy. And also, I misplace little plastic pieces really easily. So I'm not going to do that. I'm just going to glue it right in. And we will deal with that issue later. Yeah. Future Yalk is as much of a jerk as past Yalk, so they deserve it. Never or always. You decide. And here comes the fun part. Especially with these old models. A lot of bits don't really have any good index points anywhere that shows you how they. Oh, thanks for stopping by there. Hope you have a good rest of your day. But, so these bits don't really, like, slot together. Oh, hey, Cam. Welcome. So, that allows you to pose them in different ways, but it also makes it a pain to get a good pose going sometimes. So, gotta be very careful with it. Try and get it exactly where you want it, and then do not bump it until it's done drying. Meanwhile, the newer models, a lot of them have push fits and index points that allow you to only put them in one of maybe one or two um, positions, but it also makes it a lot easier to put them together. How are you doing today, Cam? Can't complain about my day. Still basically not working until uh, the 9th here. Just a lot of housekeeping, bit studying, bit playing with Miller, all that good stuff. Yeah, the longer a vacation is, the harder it is to get back to work. At least mentally. Merlin's only been off for, what, an entire month now? It was a much needed month of respite. It's going to hold this very carefully so that it doesn't break while it's doing its initial drawing. Alright, I think we can set it down now. Do next is grab their bases. I'm not actually going to use the provided bases as their actual game bases, because I'm going to 3D print better bases. But what I am going to do is use some poster tack get them stuck down to the base so that I can paint them up. $3 years. That is way too long without vacation. There we go. Yeah, that's a mood. That is a mood. Worst panini I've ever had. And now here comes the fun bit of being like, okay, where can I fit these arms on in a way that makes them look natural? Yeah, that eternal struggle of I have the experience, but for whatever reason, every company thinks you need a degree. That's to that. I'm really happy with my job right now, but whenever I tell people about the details of my job, like all the benefits they give me, all of the aspects of the company culture and stuff like that, a lot of people give me the look of you're bullshitting me right now because nobody believes that my workplace exists. Nobody would believe that you know a company can operate so well and so nicely and be so kind to their employees, which is hell of an indictment on our uh, employment system in general. But nice for me at least. But yeah, definitely. Good luck to the both of y'all, and if you need any advice on anything or any help with anything, let me know. Maybe I can reach out to my network. The fun that is carving up bits and nubs, especially on pieces like this, like a cape, where it has to be flush. Like, if you have any ridge or sharp crease in anything, it is immediately noticeable. So you have to actually gonna pull out this 1000 grit sanding stick that I use for like Gundam stuff. Try and get this smoothed down. Remind me again, Cam, what is it you're doing right now? Like, are you already in an IT field? Oh, help desk is still tech. Just thinking, is there anything that I know off the top of my head, any places in my network that would be interested in giving you a shot? I'll have to sleep on that. I constantly all over the place, talking with people in all different sectors. Gotta stay up on it all. I do not miss the help desk days, that's for sure. God. I worked so much harder for so much less money back then. It's absurd how our employment system is like that. Boy, encountering some problems with the posing. Yep, there it goes. Main issues with these models is that there's no guarantee that the way you set model up to begin with is going to accept pieces later on. It breaks like this. Now we're just trying to get it fixed. There we go. Maybe. Alright. Think, let's see. These supposed to hook into. Might end up just leaving the cape off. Or where this cape is supposed to go. How bizarre. They make it look like it's supposed to slot in right under these vents. I don't see how that's gonna happen. And then his arm fell off again. Wonderful. This pauldron does not want to sit on properly. Arm doesn't want to sit on properly. Don't know where these cape is supposed to go. A wonderful model. Oh well, we'll figure it out later. Let that dry. Hopefully we get a good weld on it. And we are going to go ahead and take our first break of the night. Because despite having made only one model so far, we're 45 minutes into it. So everybody get up, stretch your legs, use the bathroom, get some more water, all that good stuff, and we'll be back in 4 or 5 minutes. It would help if I unmuted my mic before going ahead and talking a lot. So, what I was saying was that the Bacillus praetor that we're looking at here has a bit of a strange looking setup here, because the warden has an option to have the staff and the spear, but this is showing me only having the staff and a shield. That doesn't really jive with what I'm seeing on Wahapedia as to what these guys can equip. Ah, I see. This model's guardian spear can be replaced with one axe or one shield. Huh. Personally not huge on that, because that would mean literally this person could not shoot. He'd only be able to punch, and poorly. Wonder if there's some way I can bash this. Suppose. Like maybe if I trim off that hand from the axe. You know what? Too much thinking for this stream. We're just gonna skip right to a regular guard. So, going to need part 17, part 18, and another constructed chess piece. Did everybody have a good break? Did you get yourself some food and water? Better. Well, welcome back. Don't forget to grind your dailies. Oh, RP. I have to dedicate a few more hours to working on that baby blanket tonight, but maybe tomorrow evening, if you're free, Merlin, we can do some more leveling. Oh yeah, it's definitely coming along. It's just, I'd like to finish it sooner rather than later. Well, if you're sleepy, you're sleepy. Sleep comes before gain. Millard has decided now it is time for him to munch on his dinner. Now, if it didn't take so long to assemble and paint these, I'd probably spend a lot more money on the hobby. It's probably a good thing that it's taking forever. Alright, body taken care of. Now we can move on. Getting their sword, their weapons ready. 19, 20, 21, and 22. one. Do love the Castellan spears and axes that these guys use, because of their design. It is well, for elite units like this, it wouldn't have made sense to have them to be pure melee. So what they had to do was, if we can get it to focus in on this, they had to build a gun directly into the spear. So, you know, you got your magazine here, there's the gun, spearhead, and the trigger is all the way down here at the handle. So these guys are really good at firing a few volleys into you and then charging you with their spear. Because of course they are. So that was 22, 21. Now we're looking for 19 and 20. It's 20, which goes with here. And we're looking for 19. 19. Wonderful. I'm starting to wonder if like a side profile might be better than a top down for this. Maybe if I should just get like a second camera, give extra dimension to this setup. I don't know. There is a better way of doing what I do here. I will figure it out eventually. Something like that. There. This hand's gotta go on here. Hopefully I can pose it in a way that won't in the model. Let's see. Looks natural. It attaches naturally. Alright. Then this guy's hand to attach. Just to fill the air a bit of lore about these guys. Custodes here are the God Emperor of mankind's personal bodyguards that he created by hand himself. Unlike the Adeptus Astartes or Space Marines, are regular humans who have been implanted with biological and mechanical upgrades and mutations in order to make them better than the average human. The Custodes are test tube babies, more or less, directly created by the Emperor himself back in the old days when the Emperor wasn't a corpse on a golden throne. And because of this, the Custodes are more akin to the Primarchs, or the progenitors of the Astartes, in that they are. Oh, Christ, I want to say that the typical Custodes is about 9.5 feet tall. They are they are like 10,000 years old each. Like, these guys are humanity perfected in a way. These guys can stand at attention guarding the Emperor for a century and not move an inch, not fall asleep, not eat, not drink, not use the bathroom. They are the perfect guard for royalty. And well, their prowess really shows on the tabletop, where, like I said, where a typical fire team of, like cultists or regular veteran guardsmen would be like 14 models. A group of space marines, which are, ultra elites, like 7 foot tall, genetically advanced and augmented, heavily armored um, fighting champions. They field 6 space marines compared to 14 regular troopers. Custodes only field 4 people. A squad or platoon of space marines could conquer an entire planet by themselves in the lore. A single custodian could conquer a planet. That's the power level we're talking about here. These guys do some damage. Alright, so now we need to get a head for this banana. So I've got an option of 59 to 63 for the head and 66 to 70 for the plume. On the other hand, I could give this guy one of the bald heads. Make him a character. We'll give him a regular banana head. But maybe we'll give a different different guy the bald head. Make them like his commander, their commander. Words. So there's the head, and here is Bloom. Scraping. Clean this up a bit. Thankfully, some of these models have good mold line placement, such that you don't have to do much scraping. Alright. Like other bits, these hair pieces have a nice little index point, sorts. Know where to line them up and slot them. Just that. Oh yeah, no, these are some wonderful models. Why I like painting them. The only problem is that they are not cheap models. And they are a bit of a pain to put together, but otherwise they are wonderfully beautiful. Especially stuff like this, the storm shields they have. Good stuff. Alright. And of course you got, let's see if we can get this to focus for me. Camera does not want to play nice right now. At least on my previous screen, but the pauldrons have intricate and distinct, unique embossing on them. So I'm gonna really do my best to try and dry brush the details on those into highlights. So this kit produces a total of 5 models. Um, one shield captain, which can act as an HQ, and then 4 other models, 3 of which can be guards, and the 4th can be either a guard or a praetor, the guy with the flag. And where was I going with that? So it varies kind of army to army, box to box, how much each is worth in terms of points for the game. Obviously, you have to balance armies based on points, and not models. But because Custodes are just such a small and elite force, you can make an entire combat patrol army, a 500-point army, with just 2 boxes. 1 box of Wardens, 1 box of regular guard, because that gets you your HQ in the form of a shield captain. It gets you an elite in the form of the Praetor, a regular set of troops in the form of the guard, and a elite troop in the form of the Wardens, and it gets you just under 500 points. But other armies, you can very much end up buying like 6 boxes just to fill out 1 combat patrol army. Because you need your HQ, you need at least 1 set of troops, and if your box of troops are just so much cheaper, you could end up buying like 3 or 4 boxes of troops just to fill out that 500 points. Like these Custodes, 1 custodian guard is 35 points. This Termagant is 7 points. So it takes 5 of these guys to fill up the same point value as 1 of these guys. A Warden is 50 points. So the elite version of this guy would take 7 of these. And these only come in a box of 12, while these come in a box of, 5. So you can do the ratio math there, how many points you're getting per box. You're getting a lot more points per box with these guys. All right. So we just did number 6. I could have sworn that this was number 1 that we cut out on accident. It is. But I'm not seeing a section of legs labeled as number 1 in this instruction booklet. Are these just spare legs? Why do I just have spare legs? Let's see. 1, 2, 3. There are only 3 pairs of legs remaining. Unless that pair of legs was just mislabeled. Or does it belong to the Praetor? Oh, it belongs to the Praetor. There we go. Okay, that's why I've got the 1. Because I skipped that section. No, we got it all figured out. Everybody gets legs today. Well, maybe we should do the Praetor while I'm at it. just kit bash on the fly. Oh, definitely not these boys. Can you imagine how sore your legs would be after standing in place for 100 years? Quality reference, Sir Cam. Quality reference. Okay, we are looking for foot number 2. Here, footy, footy, footy. There you are. I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this model's spear, even though it's got like one hand holding it, just like, well, it's got both of his hands holding it, but I'm going to try and chop off the right hand so that I can get it to sort of fit that he has his spear and his staff, because I do not want him to have a shield. It just seems like a really bad idea. So that'll be fun. Watch me perform surgery on this guy. Alright, so this leg, how does it fit together? Something like that. Okay. An important thing when putting these guys together is to kind of dry fit a lot of bits first, so that you know about where to put pressure on it while you're gluing it, so that it sticks in place properly. Just like that. Okay. Oh. Jesus. I just realized while looking at these instructions, I did not give this guy his waist pads. So let's go back and do that. We're gonna do number 43 for him. I know. Just so awful. His thighs. His poor thighs are unguarded. It's gonna be fun putting these into place now, given the fact that I have put a spear in the way. We will do what we can. So, another fun aspect of these Custodes that I really like is that there's another group within the Imperium, another sub-faction of men that is called the Sisters of Battle. And what they are is they're the chamber militant or uh, armed forces, basically, of the ecclesiarchy, which is the church institution that maintains the idea that the emperor of mankind is their god, and anybody who doesn't believe that are heretics. And because of something that happened in the history of the Imperium, the ecclesiarchy was banned from ever having a military force. However, the specific wording of that edict that banned them from having a military force stated that they could not have men at arms. So the church said, no problem, we won't have men at arms. We'll have women at arms. So the Sisters of Battle were formed that way, in a roundabout way. And the Sisters of Battle have a very good relationship with the Custodes because um, the sisters revere the fact that these men protect the emperor, and also that they have not, in their history, not a single one of the Custodes has ever fallen to chaos, unlike the Space Marines. And the Space Marines they see as mutants and fallible and compromised and just unworthy of the love of the Emperor after what happened during the Horus Heresy. But the Custodes, those are some cool guys. So there's always some cute like fan art floating about of like uh, Custodes holding that hand of a Sister of Battle that's like 4 feet shorter than him. Stuff like that. But yeah, the Custodes are good guys. They've got one job and they do it well. All right. Now this guy also needs his thigh pads. We'll give him number 44. Where is this going to fit? Yeah, no problem. Chris is a cool guy. So Yeah, that one machinist that was polling for me was a little annoying. But say la vie. It's bizarre. The Temple of Corn there. Is that Doom mechanic for that one boss new? Like, did they rework that dungeon at any point? I was not with you at that point, no. Because, like, I do not remember Doom. Like, straight up, I don't remember ever having to do that mechanic as a tank. Maybe, like, other parties just out DPS'd it and I never had to worry about it or something, but I just do not remember ever having to do that mechanic. Maybe I'm becoming a boomer. Maybe that's it. Maybe I just rolled with a whole bunch of good stunners. Also, hi Rubik. Alright, so 3 and 5. I mean, the other thing I could try doing is I could give him this, the spear as normal, and then glue the staff with the Aquilin on it to his back. That could be cute. Oh, the staff does have a hand on it, though. Either way, I'd have to cut a hand off somewhere. Well, let's get 3 and 5 off of these runners real quick and see what we have to work with. It's either that. Okay, so here's 5. Aw, cat cuddles. We love cat cuddles here. Whoops. Okay. If I want to chop this hand off, it'd actually be pretty easy to do. Oh look, I just did it. Trust me, they are a lot. He puts his full weight into me when he's ready for bad times. Just all 80 pounds of big old doggo being like, nap, nap. Um, he's been bothered by them once or twice, but doesn't really get scared by them. Mostly just annoyed by the loud noise. But once they start going and he gets used to it, he just stops caring. There we go. Yeah, that's a pretty good job I just did there, I think. And barely noticed that there was a hand there originally. Just gonna do some more scraping to even it out a bit more. I think that's enough. Aw, poor baby. Yeah, the older I get, the less I enjoy fireworks, at least neighborhood fireworks. Because, with age comes realizing, hey, there are a lot of people out there with PTSD, and there are a lot of dogs out there. And, the fact that there are idiots out there that will set off fireworks when you're in the middle of a burn warning. And just stuff like that. It's like, hey, maybe we should actually outlaw, you know, normal people having fireworks, because holy shit. Just one of those things where it's like, yeah, I get it, you want to have fun, but your fun is a very selfish thing when you actually understand what you're doing. Yep. One of the many reasons why I was so glad to get my fence all fixed up. Hi there, my name is Yete? Jete? I don't know how to pronounce that last bit, but thanks for coming on in. I hope you're enjoying what you're seeing. Putting together some Warhammers here. Bit of a rare stream for me. I mostly do painting and oh, that's Chris? Okay. Yeah, I think hopefully by Thursday I'll be painting these guys on stream. Hmm. It looks like this axe has to be held a little bit. The gold at the bottom, Merlin? What gold are you talking about? Oh, the goal. Oh, no. That's just poster putty. Yeah, no. That's getting me all confused here. Why are you doing that to me, Merlin? I love my putty. You leave my putty alone. Makes painting so much easier. Right, so now what do I need? I need 73, 74, 5, and 6. ISC, sudden change from blue to orange, just devastating you. Definitely not because I took my blue putty downstairs to use with airbrushing. Nope, it was just to torment you, Merlin. Alright, then 74 is the staff. Well, I also have gray, but the rest will remain a mystery to you till I'm ready to shock you again. Gray isn't boring. Gray is such a versatile color. There are so many grays. Also going to need arm 77. Wherever the hell that is. There it is. So many damn bits. While we're plucking parts out, might as well grab his head too. Oh, Theo's just being a good little boy. He's just trying to talk to me. Why won't you let him talk to me? I mean, I know a lot of guys that want some butt smacks. Miller loves his butt smacks. I'm sure he did that on accident. Mm-hmm. Yep. I mean, it could be worse. He could be permanently shrimp, just like Merlin. Merlin, please go to long now. You're shrimping. I know you are. Don't you lie to me in front of my crab rangoon. A likely story. Theo, if you're listening, slap your paw on the keyboard to let us know if she's shrimping. Oh. No, Merlin. Bad Merlin. Yummy, yummy sticky notes. Theo is a cat of culture, I see. It's a good name. If Miller hadn't been such a good name to start, probably would have tried to name him something fancy like Tiberius, like Siegfried or Fenrir. Yeah, most of the time it's a good idea to keep a name like that, especially if they already respond to it. One of my pups who was a rescue, I just I could not keep his original name because for whatever reason he was named Beastie, and he was a 15-pound Australian Shepherd mini, and it's like, who the hell named this dog that? You are now Chip. Looks like I got to remove a bit before applying the solvent. Gonna try and go. Much better. Now it's sitting flush. Smarties. Oh dear. That that is certainly a choice. All right. And it's on here. Start sizing up where we want this to sit. Be about there. Oh, all right. Well, while we wait for those two bits to dry completely, I think we're gonna go ahead and take another quick break. Oh, oh yeah. So this is the what's it called? A Vexilla Defensor. It's basically a big old staff with iconography on it, and it gives people an aura of defense. It's really cool. Works really well in the game. But like I was saying, time for another break. Everybody get up, stretch your legs, cycle your fluids, do whatever you need to do, and we'll be back in 4 or 5 minutes. See you then. Alright, I am back. And this time I am not muted coming off of break. Probably. So we're gonna give this guy some head. I mean a head. Thank you, Marlin. What would I do without you? Yeah. My defense, at one time I spent the entire stream muted. That was because of a technical error on OBS's side and not my problem. Or, not my fault. I think it was one of the first few days that you went on vacation and weren't tuning into the streams as often. And yeah, it was OBS was just like, yeah, we don't know what happened to your microphone. Well, it's right there. Yeah, we don't know what happened to it. Okay. And I had only noticed after like the first break was done, so I had spent half the stream muted. No mic for you. Tricky bit with this bit is having to hold it very long time because there's a lot of weight on it. Until it starts setting, it's just gonna fall off every time I let go of it. So just sitting here pressing in slightly, jamming to the music, as you do. There we go. That looks good. Now let's see if we can get the spear on without them clashing. It'll be maybe a little bit of an awkward stance for him, but who cares? Who cares? Cool. Just raise this arm up a little bit. Shoulders are a little more in line. I think that works. Alright, we're gonna let this guy dry. Oof, just cracked my ankles. Gonna let this guy dry for a bit before we put the pauldrons on. Gonna skip right ahead to this guy, who I think I'm gonna do with a sword and shield. We're looking at 25 and 26. So Merlin, are you planning on doing any streams coming up? It's been a while since I've tuned into one of yours. Oh, there's so much you could do. You could stream your leveling. You could stream some of the art you're doing right now. There was, what was that one game you were playing? Heck. How am I forgetting the name of this? It's that game series where one of the recent ones was called Three Houses, but I can't remember the actual name of the video game series right now. Fire Emblem, that's it. I love watching Fire Emblem. I hate playing Fire Emblem because it just it feels so different compared to other war games I play that I don't know, I just can't do it. But I do enjoy watching it get played. The song had such a long outro. I second there thought my playlist was over. Yeah, art streams would be great. Boy, certainly oppose. I'm supposed to hold this in. Something like that. Yes. I know that feeling all too well. Inspiration and just getting the pencil on the paper is the hardest part. Yeah, these feet are really close together in this pose. It's kind of weird. Oh well. Sure, it'll make more sense when the model comes together. Alright, another chest piece. Side of it. So, what are you planning on doing with that blank canvas there, Merlin? Still looking for inspiration, or just having trouble figuring out where to start? Ah, you should do what I do. Draw circles, and then turn those circles into Kirby, and then turn Kirby into a dog. And then obviously you have to draw a house for that dog. Or, go with me on this, draw a banana with a spear. Big old banana man with a red mohawk and a big old blue and gold spear. Just for no particular reason at all. None whatsoever. Exactly. Alright. Sword and Shield Boy. 28, 29, 31, 32. Aww. Newsy little lap shrimp. What a baby. I actually just today finally got a chance to drop off a mini hammock I made for a friend's cat. Excited to see if he takes to it. It was a fun little project. Crocheted the hammock net and did the woodworking for base, or the stand, I suppose. Right. Oh, thinking about what I want for dinner tonight. I stopped by the Korean grocery store today after dropping off that hammock. And I've got octopus dumplings, I've got Korean pancakes, chicken gyoza, got some oden. Got a lot of options. Octopus are definitely my guilty pleasure, because like they are definitely one of the more intelligent animals on this planet, but they're just so dang tasty. And also they die after like 5 years anyways. Well, dinner's directly after the stream, so like I will be impressed if you're able to get up here that quickly there, Merlin. Just hop on that direct flight to Detroit. Ah, you didn't enjoy that long ass layover? Yeah, you definitely would not have enjoyed my job pre-pandemic. I think I've said it before, but there was a 9 month stretch of time where I was flying out every single Monday and flying back home every Thursday. I spent way too much time in airports back then. That's the reason why they pay us big bucks. We do a lot of things that the average person would hate. I mean, I still hate it, but I endure it. Alright, so while we let those hands glue on, go ahead back here, give this guy his pauldrons. So basically what you're saying, Merlin, is road trip? Road trip. Longest road trip I ever did. Driving my car from Dallas, Texas, all the way back up to northern Michigan for relocating for my job here. That was 19 hours of driving over 2 days, and that was an experience. God, for cruise control. Just me and my dog at the time, Chip. And a lot of beef jerky. Oh dear. This guy's wrist, some reinforcement. There are definitely benefits and downsides to using either super glue or cement. I use cement, which once it's dry forms a stronger bond than super glue. Problem is, while it's still drying, that bond is very fragile and can really easily damage your part. You aren't careful with it. Because you're basically applying melty bits. You've finally been let out of Cat Jill, I take it? Cat Jill is eternal. Alright. Baldy with the sword. It's ready to go. Still kinda has a weird pose to him, but good enough for the tabletop. Like, he's definitely supposed to look like he's running into the fray, but it just kinda... Maybe it's just the angle that his mini's sitting at. Maybe if I just tilt him a little more into it. We'll figure it out. But anyways, I think I'm going to go ahead and call it a night here for streaming. Let's just check real quick if there's anybody to raid, and there is. So I want to send you all over to a friend of mine, Fen of Lore. They're a trans femme streamer that is currently playing Teamfight Tactics, I think. They're a good time. You should give them a watch, give them a follow, and spread some love around. But if you don't, just be good to yourself, be good to everyone else, and have a good rest of your Monday morning at the start of 2023 here. Alright, talk to y'all later. See you on Thursday.